It has been a destructive day, particularly for places in Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, and Arkansas, especially a long-lived tornado or family of tornadoes in Arkansas. But all told, we've had a lot of wind reports, some not from thunderstorms, many with thunderstorms. We've had large hail, and hiding in some of these places are red tornadoes, more than 215 total severe weather reports. And by far, the longest-lived rotating thunderstorm has been one that began west of Little Rock, went north, and now is heading up toward Jonesboro, Arkansas. Hard to tell how many tornadoes, probably at least one long-track tornado, maybe a family of several. The rotating thunderstorm family has gone probably pretty close to 100 miles now as it began west of Little Rock and is now up getting close to Jonesboro, Arkansas. So we'll take a look at that storm and one that's on its heels coming across We're well now to the north and east of the Little Rock area. This is the original storm. At times earlier today had debris balls. Right now it's far enough away from the radar that we don't quite have the resolution that we did before. It's sort of sheared out, but tornado warnings there for Craighead, Greene, and Lawrence counties for the shifting winds that are on the leading edge of this. You see there we're in a place where we're not seeing the circulations very well. There's some kind of a circulation there, but generally up toward the Alicia, the Bono areas, the Minturn, the Laredo, Crowley, Oak Grove Heights. These are probably more likely, hopefully at least, to be shorter-lived tornadoes than what we've had thus far. Slide along, Sarah. The next storms, several warnings then farther to the south. We have this one pretty well-defined little arc cloud, probably a gust front, but sometimes there can be tornadoes on that. Independence and Jackson counties, including areas near Huff, Newark, and Salado. And areas, again, there could be a pretty well-defined circulation there. That is heading off toward the north and east. There's other circulations up near the Rosie area, so those will be heading up toward the Newark area and north and east of the Huff area. Slide along. Let's go up to the area. There's another warning off farther into the core of the heavy rain, so these are certainly almost likely to be rain wrapped up into there. There's Newark about 10:12, Tuckerman area about 10:35. Slide up a little bit, Sarah. Let's see if we've got all the county names warned here. Lawrence County, slide a little bit to the southwest and get the one there that's just to the east of Cave City. Slide a little north. There we go. Independence and Sharp County. So a whole cluster of these storms running along the outflow boundaries, in all likelihood left behind by the storms that have been in advance of them, that leading long-lived supercell. All right, let's go on. Farther to the northeast, these storms have just kept going and are rolling with heavy rain up across Poplar Bluff and the Cape Girardeau areas, the southeast parts of Missouri. All sorts of flash flood warnings there, including the Butler and Wayne counties. That may slowly overnight work its way toward Paducah. And so we won't try to get all these county names in there, Sarah. Severe thunderstorms rolling now toward the Fort Smith area, slowly moving eastward. So this is out near the cold front, just points out that one round of storms has gone across Arkansas, but we could still have another yet coming farther eastward overnight across some of these same areas. So we're not necessarily done yet, and certainly not done in the context of the next few days. Look at that upper low spinning its way there across southern parts of Nebraska. On the south heels of that, strong jet stream, occasionally little disturbances in that will come and trigger massive amounts of severe weather. But at the moment, as you can see, the highest big cluster of storms from northeast Arkansas into the flash flood part in southeast parts of Missouri. But over the next few days, that system keeps going. Its cold front slowly moves east, but the Gulf of Mexico wide open with tremendous amounts of deepening moisture. Tomorrow, a low-level jet could be 60 miles per hour at 5,000 feet. Certainly gives enough turning of the winds with height for tornadoes in parts of Alabama, Tennessee, Mississippi, Louisiana. Upper-level jet stream charging east into some of the areas ahead of the cold front may give some tornadoes even to up into the north. So I have some severe weather from Omaha and Sioux Falls, South Dakota, all the way along a warm front into the Carolinas with torcons of 7 parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, 6 for parts of Alabama, 5 for parts of Iowa up near where what was the equivalent of Nebraska today, having tornadoes up near that surface and upper low. And as we head to tomorrow into Tuesday, still some torcons of 4, Louisiana, Alabama, 5 for southern Alabama, 4 up for around the Atlanta, Georgia area, and 5 values over into the Carolinas. So, Jim, we're certainly not done yet with this severe threat until probably Thursday when it clears the coast, Jim.
Yeah, and that is the sad news because we have so much, obviously, to deal with in the state of Arkansas, possibly Oklahoma and Kansas as well. Bill Bunting, again, we got 30 seconds talking about the day 2. This is tomorrow's outbreak. Could we go high risk tomorrow?
not out of the question. We'll have to see what happens overnight. As often is the case, the previous day's thunderstorm activity will play a large role in what happens tomorrow. But if you go ahead and switch to the probabilities, you will see that we have the highest threat for severe weather is actually from the lower and middle Mississippi Valley up into the Tennessee Valley area. There we go. 45% chance of large hail damaging winds or a tornado within 25 miles of a point in this area here. So this is really a high impact situation.
Dangerous day tomorrow.
Welcome to this extended edition of Weather Center Live. Right now, we are tracking large hail, the threat of tornadoes, and so much of this is just going to keep going as we journey into the early leg of this work week, the last few days of the month of April. From the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you again are watching a special edition of Weather Center Live.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Paul Goodlow. We're with you all night covering the severe weather threat, making sure that you are aware of what's coming your way so you can prepare to make sure that you and your family stay safe. Let's check in now with what's going on in terms of where the severe weather is right now and also where the threat is. In fact, we could take a look at our storm threat as we head through the beginning of this week, because again, it's just not Sunday night. This threat will linger as we head through Monday, Tuesday, perhaps even until Thursday of this week with more. Let's head to Danielle Banks.
All right, thank you so much, Paul. We have had tornado warnings coming out by the minute, flash flood warnings. Of course, the heavy rainfall is going to be a huge concern as we keep, again, going through the next few days. We're going to have a lot of spots that not just have reports like this all over, as you can see, the nation's heartland, but we're going to have this look overspreading so much of the eastern half of the U.S. in general. So expect to have all of those little blue dots are indications of storm reports, some of them tornadoes, guys, and we have seen significant damage being brought in from our tornado track team. Mike Bettis and crew, of course, are going to be very busy the next few days. Now, you've also heard reports from our Jen Cantori. He has been reporting from Norman, Oklahoma. We have currently still got warnings out there. You can see just off to the north and east of Little Rock. We've been keeping tabs on all of these storms, and the threat continues to shift further north and east as many of these storms have been making significant headway. They're moving at a very rapid pacing. All of the severe weather ingredients are coming into place. We've got turning of the upper level winds with height. We've got a ton of moisture. This moisture plume is just going to be non-stop as we go further into your Monday. And of course, we have our shift in the jet stream, so all fuel for what we're seeing right now. Again, the severe weather threats will include many of the same areas that are under the gun at this time, but then as I was previously telling you, the threat continues to spill further east. So we've got more of you in line across sections of the south as well as the mid-Atlantic, stemming in the direction of the northeast. Torcon values are extremely high. We're talking 6s and 7s. These are 60 and 70% chances of seeing a tornado develop within a 50-mile radius, even a 5. You want to take that very seriously. 5 out of 10, we're talking about a 50% chance. Now, of course, in cities like Memphis, we're going to continue to deal with a lot of active weather, even all the way into the evening time frame on your Monday. And overnight is the time that we are super concerned about, because a lot of people let their guard down. They go to bed and they don't even think about how difficult a storm like this would be. They think, oh, the sirens will wake me up. Well, that is the wrong state of mind to go into, guys. We want you to have those NOAA weather radios. $25. Skip eating out for a night, okay? $25. This could save your life. Get the hand crank version of a NOAA weather radio. Battery powered, but hand crank is best. Just something in case the power goes out. And we've already had widespread power outages being reported across the nation's heartland. On Tuesday, more severe weather lining up into the Ohio Valley, even high Torcon values as we go into Tuesday and even beyond that into Wednesday. So there's going to be a ton of information to bring you. We know there's a lot to absorb. We appreciate you staying with us, appreciate your patience. And of course, all these details can be found as well on weather.com. Sending it back over to Paul now.
Thanks, Danielle. We got pictures in of what's been going on throughout the day today. Take a look at this picture from Mayflower, Arkansas. And this is just one of and between 2 and 3 dozen reports of tornadoes so far today. We're talking tornadoes over 7 states just today alone. And the reports between 27 to perhaps 39 reports. Some could be the reports of the same tornado, but still, look at the damage here. It looks like what's left of an 18-wheeler. You can see the leaves, the branches, the bark stripped from some of these trees here. That's the power of some of the tornadoes that came through here in Mayflower, Arkansas. This is just to the northwest of Little Rock, Arkansas. Little Rock downtown has been spared, but again, this is some of the far suburbs and the outlying areas of the Little Rock metro areas. Incredible pictures. In fact, portions of Interstate 40 are still shut down right now. Only essential personnel are being let through at least one lane of that. It's a huge concern. We're zoomed in here. Brent, what state is this? Arkansas. Okay, we're starting in Arkansas. We have a couple of warnings we're still concerned about because there are still some potentially tornadic thunderstorms ongoing right now in this area of northeastern Arkansas. We have Independence and Jackson counties under tornado warnings. We are detecting a radar signature of rotation within the thunderstorm. That's the first sign we could be dealing with a tornado. And I got to tell you, I believe it's this cell which has a long history of producing tornado warnings and potentially tornadoes as well. So again, the sun has set now. You cannot see this. We're getting video in of people, getting out of the cars to videotape tornadoes. No, you need to evacuate. You need to go the opposite direction of tornadoes. It's dark out here right now. Maybe they could be illuminated by lightning flashes, but right now, if you're hearing my voice, if you have a shelter, get in it right now. Clay, Dunklin, and Greene counties here in Arkansas as well under tornado warnings. Again, these cells are heading on towards the Mississippi River and also eventually going to cross over potentially towards the boot heel of Missouri as well. I think that was the velocity we just looked at. Also, the hail core, plenty of hail with these tornadoes and thunderstorms rolling on through here. This is just to the northwest of Jonesboro, Arkansas. We're talking 2-inch diameter hail, which is just a little bit larger than golf ball size hail coming down there. And that was going to do a lot of damage, not only to your home, but cars and lots of crops as well. Also, again, Lawrence County under tornado warning, and you see all these cells are getting closer and closer to parts of southern and southeastern Missouri and the boot heel as well. The 24-hour rainfall, you can see some of the yellows and oranges. We're talking more than 3 inches of rain here. This one is about 2.6 is what the radar is estimating, and usually the radar estimates, maybe overestimates how much rain has fallen, but this is just in a couple of hours in terms of the storms that have been firing up just this afternoon and this evening alone. So it's not only a tornado threat, a hail threat, a lightning threat. We also have a flash flood threat across this region as well. So it looks like we have at least 3 tornado warnings ongoing, and this one's getting closer and closer to parts of southeastern Missouri. Clay, Dunklin, Greene. If we can actually time this out here, it looks like eventually it could be heading on towards the Cape Girardeau area if it holds together. So right now we're looking at Sykeston, 11:45 local time, so about an hour and a half for you as well in terms of potentially seeing this storm, but more soon, talk about Cotton Hill, about 10:54 local time. You could see this potentially tornadic thunderstorm head your way as well. So definitely you want to be on alert here and across the southeastern Missouri area, the boot heel of Missouri. You know what happens after that? We start pushing into areas of Kentucky, even southern Illinois. This will be an ongoing overnight threat. Right now is the time to prepare. If you have a basement, sleep down there tonight. That's the safest place for you, is to be underground if you can. Welcome back to Weather Center Live. We're still tracking yet our first major severe weather outbreak of 2014, and unfortunately, it has been deadly so far today. We're talking 2 to 3 dozen reports of tornadoes over 7 states so far today. And right now, we want to zoom into northeastern Arkansas because these storms are on the move and have a history of producing damaging wind, hail, potentially even tornadoes as well. Right now, the southern storm, Independence and Jackson counties here in Arkansas, you're under a tornado warning until 10:15 local time. Not to mention, you're also under a tornado watch until 2 a.m. local time. So these storms are going to continue well past midnight and into the early morning hours of your Monday as well. We actually put the storm track on this, so we're tracking the part of the thunderstorm that is showing rotation on radar. So we're going to track this out to you as it's moving on just to kind of to the east-northeast here to Newark around 10:10, 10:34 around Tuckerman, Swift in Arkansas around 10:43, and then into Gilkerson around 11:12 local time tonight. It's not the only thunderstorm we're watching. Another one here getting closer and closer to the Missouri border here in the Boot Heel of Missouri. Clay, Dunklin, and Greene counties, all in Arkansas, under tornado warnings right now. In fact, we can also track this out as well. Heading on towards Campbell at 10:49 is going to cross into Missouri as well. Cotton Hill at 11:01, 11:23 tonight at Como, and Morehouse at 11:44 p.m. Eventually, these will move towards the Cape Girardeau area and Sikeston, Missouri as well. In fact, we're still watching heavy rain coming through here. Not to mention we have flash flood warnings. Some areas have picked up 2 to 4 inches of rain so far today, and that is going to cause some quick flash flooding in many locations. Not to mention, look at this. This is the hail that we're talking about. Generally, a large area of golf ball size hail, and some even larger than golf ball size hail. It's not just with one thunderstorm. It's lines of thunderstorms dumping hail over the same area. And we're still seeing the forecast for more hail to come through this area of northeastern Arkansas. This is just to the north of Jonesboro, Arkansas. And eventually we'll push these thunderstorms, more thunderstorms, back into areas of southern and southeastern Missouri and the Boot Heel of Missouri, then pushing into Kentucky, even downstate Illinois as well. So the ingredients are also here for this to continue tonight and tomorrow, even a couple of days after that as well. So we're still opening up the Gulf of Mexico moisture. We're bringing in also low-level jet energy. What you're having is basically winds, different speeds as you go through the column of the atmosphere, and also different directions too, and that sets up what we're seeing, rotation. Sometimes even entire thunderstorms are rotating, and it's giving us a huge risk for thunderstorms, not only throughout the area tomorrow, but in fact this threat will slowly move eastward and not clear the U.S. perhaps until late Thursday, maybe even into Friday. Danielle?
Well, Paul, unfortunately, we got some sad pictures, ground truth, and I know this is a little bit tough of a visual to see, but what we can make out here in this image out of Mayflower, Arkansas, is heavily damaged buildings, okay? So we have taken a huge hit here in Mayflower, Arkansas, and many other locations. You can see the emergency responders are there. They are assessing the damage. We appreciate KARK letting us share this image to you. So, guys, this is ground truth. I mean, this is what's really happening out there. We're going to keep a firm grip on what's going on with the radar. We want you to know who is in line for these storms, which is why we are staying here through the overnight time frame. So, of course, we're going to keep tabs on the watches. If we could quickly switch over to Max 2, because the heavy rainfall is going to be a huge deal and not to be underestimated. We've got a couple of inches of rain that's just going to be falling overnight in Memphis. More coming up for you guys in the next couple of days. Memphis very much included under a flash flood watch. I suspect this will be filled in as we go further into the day on Monday. We're going to have a lot of locations that pick up anywhere between 2 to 5 inches of rain the next few days. Flash flooding, a very real threat. Stay with us for more. We'll be right back. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. We are under the gun for severe weather at this time, and we are constantly, of course, bringing you the main updates. Now, of course, we are also keeping tabs on what's going on, not just with the severe weather threat at this time, but we are also going to be monitoring who is under the gun next. Right now, you're taking a look at some of the current storm reports, and we are updating these. And unfortunately, the gaps just keep getting filled in with more and more of these as the minutes progress. So it is just going to be a very long night, to say the least. And of course, going further into Monday and Tuesday, this is just not going to stop. So right now, we're taking a look at a report, tornado in Quapaw, reporting that the fire station has been destroyed, sustaining just excessively heavy damage. So even the first responders are being affected by this, which is not good, because these are the people that we need to go out and assist the residents, of course, who have been affected by this. Tornado also reported in Searcy, house damaged on Bloodworth Road. Some of you, of course, may live near Bloodworth Road and are trying to find out what's happened to your neighbors, your family, your friends. What's precious to you is precious to us here at the Weather Channel. That's what it's all all about protecting life and property. Right now, we're taking a look at a very nasty punchline of storms that is still pulling across northeastern Arkansas as well as southeastern Missouri. We're going to zero in on a couple of these spots right now. Tornado warning for Lawrence County, including the city of Black Rock and also Ravenden. This is going to stay in effect until 10:30 p.m. We've also got some additional tornado warnings that we want to tell you about, severe thunderstorm warnings too. You can certainly see where you are in line for this. This is going to be going in the direction of Pocahontas at 10:51, Stokes at 11:01, followed by Reno as well as Success. Right now, I do want to send it back over to my co-anchor Paul. Paul, we are just being inundated with reports. We're getting to them as fast as we can.
We certainly are. In fact, we have colleagues and crews spread throughout the Midwest covering this system. We want to bring in Mike Seidel, who has just arrived in Mayflower, Arkansas, one of several towns hit pretty hard today with tornadoes. And Mike, I know you had a time trying to get from North Little Rock to Mayflower. It's not a very long trip, but because I-40 shut down, it took you a while to get there. What's the scene right now?
Yeah, it took us over 2 hours. For a long time. We were just locked out on I-40. We can show you the video we shot, or I shot that earlier. What happened is the tornado came right across mile marker 140, not far from the Mayflower exit. Now, this is about typically about a 20-minute drive outside of Little Rock, north and west on Interstate 40 heading towards Conway. The tornado, estimated at a half-mile wide, came across the interstate a little after 7:30 local time here in Mayflower. And we came by there not long ago when they finally got the westbound lanes open. Eastbound is still backed up for miles as far as you can see. And there's just mangled debris everywhere. There's no light really, but we saw this big mound. It looked like two semis had been crushed into a ball. We don't know if they were semis. We just couldn't figure out what it was. Behind me is Highway 89 as it heads off Interstate 40, a lot of blue flashing lights, and basically they told us if we turned left, they would take us to jail. So we're just staying right here at this intersection, and everybody here is turning right or turning left depending on which direction. Mayflower is just down the road, and there's been tremendous damage down there. We could see that from the interstate. They've already got big floodlights up there. So this is a fatal tornado, again, running through here about 20 miles, 15, 20 miles north and west of Little Rock, just after 7:30, and then it went up to Valonia, a town that had a killer tornado, Paul, 3 years ago, I believe yesterday. Paul?
All right, Mike Seidel reporting live from Mayflower, Arkansas, just one of several towns being hit pretty hard with tornadoes right now. Interstate 40 is shut down in both directions in that area of Arkansas.
Well, there are many unsafe places that we want you to avoid during a tornado. We obviously want people to get into their innermost homes. Away from windows is really key. People tend to be hurt by flying debris. We'll be back with more updates like this when we return.
Severe storms across the country affecting millions.
We could see pretty violent weather.
Trust the Weather Channel to get you through the worst of it. Special edition storm coverage tonight.
From the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching a special edition of Weather Center Live, where we have multiple locations included under a tornado watch. Right now, this particular watch in effect until 11 o'clock.
We also have watches in for the Boot Hill of Missouri, even pushing now into areas of downstate Illinois, southwestern Missouri. That's until 2 o'clock local time. Again, these storms and the threat will continue well past midnight. And again, this watch also extends to the Boot Hill, Missouri, western areas of Kentucky, and downstate Illinois till 2 a.m. local time, as well as parts of western Tennessee. Memphis, you're in this. Paducah, Cape Girardeau, you're all under tornado watch until 2 a.m. And again, these could be extended later on and also pushing northward and eastward as we head into the early morning hours.
We really appreciate you staying with us. I'm Danielle Banks.
And I'm Paul Goodlow. We're with you all night covering the severe weather threat, making sure that you are aware of what's coming your way so you can prepare to make sure that you and your family stay safe. We have some impressive pictures and video coming in of the tornado damage already underway across over 7 states today. Take a look at this picture. This is a tornado hitting Stromsburg, Nebraska here. You can see a couple of homes in the foreground. The background, clearly that funnel cloud. It is actually, this is Quapaw video of the Quapaw tornado from earlier this evening here. And yeah, this is just one of dozens. We have reports between 2 and over 3 dozen tornadoes across 7 states so far today. And unfortunately, we're still dealing with the risk of tornadoes right now across areas in Arkansas and potentially pushing into Missouri at this very time. So let's get more on what's going on right now on the radar and head to Danielle.
Yeah, some of these storms, obviously, we are getting ground truth on. The storm, again, spotters are out, and certainly we appreciate that, because in order to get that information to you, we rely heavily on them. And you'll, of course, hear more from our very own tornado track team headed up by Mike Bettis as we go further into the day on Monday in the next couple of days. Right now, the atmosphere is absolutely primed. It is juicy out there. I mean, when you walk out, you feel it. It is air you can wear for sure. And right now we are taking a look at many locations that are still under some form of warning. So the outlined areas, if you're not familiar with this, the outlined areas that you see, the boxes shaded in the yellows, these are severe thunderstorm warnings. Not to be taken any less seriously, guys, because a severe thunderstorm is capable of producing a tornado. And the outlined areas that you see shaded in the green, these are flash flood warnings. Also not to be taken less seriously. Flash flooding claims so many lives every single year. So you've heard us say the phrase before, turn around, don't drown. You're going to hear it a lot in the next few days, because the rainfall threat is a big thing to follow too. Right now, here's a look at a severe thunderstorm warning, which currently includes the county of Lawrence and Randolph, cities of Black Rock, as well as Ravenden and Imboden. This is going to stay in effect until 11:15 Central Time. Many of these storms are booking it. I mean, they're going anywhere between 40 and 50 miles an hour, capable not just of producing damaging winds, but large hail. In cities like Indianapolis, we are still going to be focusing in on thunderstorms. The overnight time frame is a time frame that we are always concerned about here at the Weather Channel, because people think, oh, I'll get to sleep, I'll wake up, everything will be okay. You count on the sirens to wake you up. Please do not do that. Make sure you've got those NOAA weather radios ready to go. Okay, we're going to be tapping in to a lot of moisture. All the ingredients are coming into play with this. Right now, I'm going to send it back over to Paul with more.
There was an incredible video coming in of all the thunderstorms. This is the time lapse from Pittsburgh, Missouri here. You can see how even the base of the thunderstorms are slightly rotating there as the storms come through. Rain starts falling on the lens right there, and we continue to start seeing more and more of the clouds coming on through as well. So it continues to be an ominous looking as the storm tracker storm chaser starts to get on the road again too. So pretty impressive video coming in from Pittsburgh, Missouri. So this is just, yeah, we're going to see this repeated over and over again, not only across the Midwest and Plains, but this is now pushing into the Ohio Valley. We'll even see this across much of the Gulf Coast states in the southeast as we head on the next several days. And another huge threat we have is a flood threat, because we have a lot of heavy rain falling now tonight, overnight, and also for the next, not just 1 or 2 days. We're talking this will continue Thursday or Friday as the system slowly pushes eastward. We're also watching with the same system, rain being brought all the way up across Iowa into northern Illinois, into areas of Wisconsin, even the UP of Michigan seeing some rain with this system. That's how widespread this rain is. But overall, as our storm and trough digs south, we're going to open up the Gulf of Mexico, and that will bring that moisture north and northwest and continue to have this kind of moisture tap, or this flow conveyor belt of moist air coming in this region. And not to mention the storms coming on through, that's just more rain in the atmosphere that the storms can wring out and dump on areas that have already seen a couple of inches of rain, and will continue to see that rain push eastward, even on towards the mid-Atlantic, the Northeast, even New England as we head on towards the end of this week, even through Thursday. Many areas could see maybe 5 to 8 inches of rain localized, but widespread 2 to 5 is not out of the question at all. So tomorrow, more rain and more thunderstorms. Yeah, as we head towards Tuesday, more rain now pushing into the interior of the Northeast, even the mid-Atlantic on your Tuesday and Wednesday. Much of the Northeast getting it, and now New England starts seeing that rain as well. And we're just talking about the Midwest to Ohio Valley, the Northeast. It's also still raining across the Southeast and areas of the Gulf Coast states and parts of the Southern Plains as well. So we have several days of rain. And look at this, in the yellow, that's 3 to 5 inches, not just a localized area. This is a huge amount of real estate. We're talking from almost Des Moines, Iowa, into Chicago, into Detroit, into South Bend, into Cincinnati, Dayton, Columbus, into Pittsburgh, into Philadelphia, into New York City, even D.C., Baltimore, on through Virginia, and much of the southeast as well. This is 3 to 5 inches falling through Thursday, and in some areas we'll actually see this rainfall in just a couple of hours as well. So flash flooding an issue as well. Chicago, we got the next 4 days seeing rain come through. Also thunderstorms. You can't rule out the risk of some severe weather for you as we head towards Tuesday, as we head towards New York. Yeah, nice day tomorrow. Enjoy that. Temperatures fall, and so does the rain. And then we see some storms come through. 71, a little bit warmer though as we head towards Thursday. And again, temperatures will stay far colder when that rain starts coming through as we head towards Tuesday and Wednesday. Danielle?
Thanks so much, Paul. We've got images, new images that we're bringing to you right now. This is of Valonia Intermediate School, or Valonia Middle School, home of the Eagles. Significant damage there. So there's going to be a lot of announcements coming out tomorrow. Obviously, the students are not going to be able to attend. This is out of Valonia, Arkansas, home of the Eagles, Valonia Intermediate. We're going to send it back over to Paul here coming up in just a second to talk about what's going on active weather radar.
Let's take a look at the radar right now, and we are still seeing this line of thunderstorms now marching into Missouri. And notice how we have those green boxes. Those are flash flood warnings. And right now we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for Lawrence and Randolph County. The good news is this cell earlier had a tornado warning on it, but still now just warned for severe thunderstorms. Still doesn't mean that we can't see a tornado, but the bottom line is that's some better news for you in terms of your choices of your weather. And now Fort Smith, parts of northwestern Arkansas. Here we go again. More thunderstorms rolling on through here, and yes, these have gone severe. Fort Smith storms are just pushing on the east side of town right now. Crawford, Franklin, Sebastian counties all under severe thunderstorm warnings for this cell till 11 o'clock. Even storms still going on in areas of eastern Oklahoma. McCurtain, including Smithville, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning, and this line continues for LaFleur. You're severe here in Oklahoma until 11 o'clock. Welcome back to Weather Center Live with you all night, tracking the severe weather. And as I mentioned earlier, we have a new tornado watch. This one now for much of central Arkansas, including you in Little Rock, till 6 o'clock in the morning. And we also, this also expires or kind of replaces another watch we had, which expired at the top of the hour, 11 o'clock local time, but now it goes until 6 o'clock. And we also have plenty of other watches that go even past midnight here. They're usually ones in southern Missouri going till 2 a.m. local time. You can see our upper level low. Look how slowly, it's kind of rapidly kind of went out of the Rockies here, and now it's slowly kind of churning, and it will very slowly start to push eastward, or almost really not making any eastward progression at all. That has continued to give us energy and also wind shear. Basically, winds coming in different directions of the atmosphere, also different speeds throughout the atmosphere. That starts to set up a rolling and spinning motion, and that's what we're seeing down to the ground in terms of tornadoes. There are reports of between 2 and 3 dozen plus tornadoes today. In fact, we do have a new tornado warning that just showed up here well to the west of St. Louis here. We're talking Boone and Callaway. This is just on and also pushing to the east and southeast of Columbia, kind of between Columbia and Jeff City. And Jefferson City, Missouri here. So we're talking about till 11:15 local time. We're going to track this out because it's moving on to the northeast here, heading on towards Guthrie at 10:48, Fulton at 11:05, 11:48. Is going to head on towards Montgomery City and also Vandalia by 12:13, so just after midnight here. And again, St. Louis, you're not in a tornado watch, but we still have a tornado warning just to the east, just to the west of you right now. What was that, Nikki? You were saying? So the University of Missouri, Mizzou, is telling any students now to take shelter immediately on that storm. Ben, let's go back to that storm now, because you can see it's actually between Jeff City and Columbia. Columbia is where the University of Missouri is right now. So the university is telling any students, if you know someone in the area or perhaps a student here, tell them, text them, get on the phone, say, hey, possible tornado in your area, get underground, the safest place for you. Get into an interior room, lowest level of the house or apartment. Mobile homes, need to evacuate them, and that's the safest place for you if you can to get into a shelter or underground. And this continues to roll on to the northeast right now. We have the velocity mode, so Doppler radar is indicating looks like, where's the couplet? Looks like it's right where it says Jefferson City here. we're seeing rotation within this thunderstorm. So that's the beauty of Doppler radar. It kind of detects when we have rotation, different directions of the wind very close together. It looks like that's what we're seeing right about here. So this is the concern. This is the possible tornadic part of this thunderstorm, probably closer to Jeff City than Ashland right now. We'll also have quite a bit of hail with this. So typically the tornado is just to the south of the hail. And we're seeing, what size is this? Just about golf ball size hail, just over 1 inch in diameter with these hailstones coming on through there. So at the very least, a lot of hail damage coming through. If you hear the hail already, just again, stay inside, stay away from the exterior windows of your house, and just hunker this out. Hopefully you have time downwind to put your car in a carport or garage or something like that. But this is the path that we're expecting this storm with the hail core to continue to head right on towards the Fulton area here in Missouri. And we're talking perhaps even close to golf ball size hail could be coming with this thunderstorm. But the biggest concern is that we actually have a tornado warning for this. Doppler radar is indicating rotation within this thunderstorm. So again, this is Ashland. This is Boone and Callaway counties, Missouri, until 11:15. You're under a tornado warning. University of Missouri, they're warning students to take shelter immediately because of this possible tornadic thunderstorm. And this is about, say, almost 2 hours to the west of the hour and a half, 2 hours west of St. Louis. You've been dealing with rain, even some thunderstorms for much of this evening. Now, as we head farther south to Boot Hill, Missouri, plenty of rain and thunderstorms coming through. A lot of lightning out here as well. And also, not to mention heavy rain. Right now, severe thunderstorm. This is in Arkansas for Lawrence and Randolph counties till 11:15 local time. And some of these thunderstorms now, which are just being warned for severe thunderstorm warnings, have already produced, or at least funnel clouds, maybe even some rotation, had some tornado warnings earlier with them. This entire lot of storms dumping heavy rain. Everything in green here, the green outlines, those are flash flood warnings. Many areas are dealing with flooding right now with this, and all this is heading on towards Paducah and also to Cape Girardeau. As we speak, we'll have more updates right after your local on the 8s. Welcome back to Weather Center Live. We're here with you all night long to keep you ahead of severe weather going on right now across the Midwest. In fact, we have a latest tornado watch now reissued for Little Rock till 6 o'clock in the morning. Things are quiet now, but storms are firing up, passing on through western areas of Arkansas. They will eventually head on to Little Rock. We're also concerned with a tornado warning around Jefferson City and Columbia, Missouri. In fact, the University of Missouri, Mizzou, has just warned students to take shelter immediately. Again, Doppler radar is indicating rotation within this thunderstorm. It's the first sign, first signal that we could see a developing or perhaps a already developed tornado here. So we're talking about Boone and Callaway counties in Missouri under a tornado warning till 11:15 local time. If you're in Ashland or Fulton, you take shelter immediately. And we're still seeing a little couplet here. Right about there, where it says Jefferson City. Overall, we're seeing broad rotation within the thunderstorm, but again, a small part where we have greens and red very close together. The red flow is actually moving away from the radar while the green is coming to the radar. So you have that flow like that in a very close space. That indicates by radar that you could have spinning and potentially a tornado as well. So we time this out here, heading on towards Guthrie at 10:52 local time, 11:09 Fulton, Missouri, and 11:39 Shamrock, Montgomery City by 11:52. Just to the northwest of St. Louis and St. Charles as well, but it's going to be a very close call. And again, do not let your guard down as well. Still staying here in Missouri, a little on towards the kind of southwest of St. Louis along Interstate 44, just north of that right now. Camden, Laclede, and Pulaski counties under severe thunderstorm warnings here, and eventually this could head on towards the Rolla, maybe even the Vichy area as well. So here we go. To time this out, we have Crocker at 11:34, 11:50, Dixon, Vienna, Missouri at 12:12, 12:33, heading on towards Safe, Missouri as well. And definitely a large hail, the huge concern there. We're also watching thunderstorms that were tornadic earlier now, have just still not showing rotation, but still some heavy rain, some hail, and maybe some gusty damaging winds here. We still have one thunderstorm here in Arkansas being warned for severe thunderstorms right now, Lawrence and Randolph to 11:15 local time. But if we zoom back out, we can see we're kind of dumping rain over the same areas. Everything in green, some of the green outlines. All these are flash flood warnings. They start here in Arkansas, now push towards Missouri, and eventually I expect these to be issued across areas of Cape Girardeau, parts of downstate and southern Illinois, western areas of Kentucky, even eventually into Indiana, because these thunderstorms are headed that way. In fact, we can take a look at how much rain has fallen. I wouldn't even say the last 24 hours. This is more like perhaps the last 4 hours. And some areas here in the yellows and the oranges are 5 inches of rain is being estimated by the radar. That's usually an overestimation, but even 3-4 inches, that's a lot of rain in a very short amount of time. That's because of all those thunderstorms. And guess what? They're moving in the same direction. And this area, because of the history, does not do well with a lot of heavy rain, and we can even see more storms as we head through tomorrow. So flash flooding is a huge concern, especially over this hilly terrain. Some of those streams and rivers will fill up and flood quickly. Right now, Fort Smith, things are slowly quieting down for you, but eventually these are the storms we're concerned about coming back across central Arkansas. Also, some of the areas just northwest of Little Rock, like Mayflower and Valonia, who have dealt with a tornado already tonight, could see more thunderstorms heading that way. That's a huge concern for the first responders in the area right now. So again, this entire line heading on towards central Arkansas as we head over the next hour to an hour and 15. Danielle?
And we thank those responders so much for what they do. Well, the threat of severe weather will, of course, be extremely high over the next 5 days. We've been telling you it's already included tornadoes. The Weather Channel's Mark Elliott explains the do's and don'ts when it comes to picking the safest room to shelter in during a tornado.
When you're under a tornado warning or you hear a tornado siren, and especially if you can see that.
Thanks for staying with us for Weather Center Live. We're here with you all night to give you the latest damage and also what's going on right now with the radar with severe weather all across the Midwest. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Paul Goodlow.
This is what we do. I'm Danielle Banks. We, of course, are going to have a very long stretch. It's not just the overnight time frame that we're really concerned about, but it truly is the next few days. And we definitely want to keep you aware of what's coming your way, even if you're not in line right now, but are going to be, so that you can prepare and keep your family safe.
And our watches are up now. The latest watch has just been issued for Little Rock, Arkansas, and that watch goes until 6 a.m. local time.
Looks like we just had a couple of counties shaved off in southwestern Arkansas there, Paul, but there are still plenty of counties within the state. The majority of the state is still in that watch, and we've certainly got, the other counties that we take a look at that you're walking in on right now over sections of Kentucky as well as Tennessee, several counties in Missouri. But again, this is far from over. We are going to have so many places that are included in additional watches as we go further into the day. I guarantee you about 12 hours from now, this is going to be such a different sight. Paul?
Yeah, I'm going to kind of stay on this map here and kind of share what's going on in the red. These are all tornado watches, meaning in and around these areas we're seeing strong and severe thunderstorms. Some have already produced tornadoes. Some thunderstorms have a history of producing tornadoes, and some can quickly produce tornadoes with little to no advance warning. And also, by the way, St. Louis, you're not in any of these watch areas, but just to the west of you, we actually have a tornado warning going on around Columbia and Jefferson City, Missouri. That goes on until 11:15 local time. And also Little Rock, by the way, the governor of Little Rock has just confirmed 4 deaths from tornadoes so far tonight. So that is a sad news to report here. 4 people have been killed so far, and I hope that number doesn't go up, but unfortunately it will. And this is just the latest state to report 200 deaths from storms today. Now the big system, the big picture of what's going on here, you can see this spin in the atmosphere. This is the upper level storm system that brought some very late season rain to California and snow across the mountains there. It has been dumping snow in the 4 corners from Friday really until this morning. That system now is kind of ejected out towards the plains, and it's slowly going to push eastward. As it does so, it's doing a couple things. One, it's providing plenty of moisture to come up from the Gulf of Mexico, fuel for all these thunderstorms. And 2, it's providing wind speed shear and directional shear as well. So we have different levels of the atmosphere. The wind is going in different directions, also different speeds, and that is setting up rotation. That is giving you supercell thunderstorms, is also giving you tornadoes. We have 7 states so far here across the middle of the country that have reported tornadoes today. And the number of reported tornadoes between 2 and 3+ dozen. So again, some are multiple reports of the same tornado, but still we're talking 2 to 3 dozen reports. And already at least about a half dozen people have been killed so far today. And right now, this is the warning I was telling you about between Columbia and Jefferson City what are the counties again, Brent? I just missed that. Boone and Callaway. Right now, look, Boone County is out of it, but Callaway County, you're still in this till 11:15 local time. And University of Missouri, about a half hour ago, told all the students to seek shelter immediately with the storm. It continues to move on towards Calwood and Fulton and Holtz Summit as the system continues to move on towards the northeast, roughly between 40 and 50 miles per hour. We're definitely seeing evidence of some rotation within this thunderstorm. This is the beauty of Doppler radar. It can tell you when you possibly have a tornado. It definitely is giving you a close area of rotation within the thunderstorm. So that's why we have the tornado warning warned for you there. And again, the path takes it to the northwest of St. Louis, but eventually we could see more storms fire up north and south of this line as well. We'll keep you updated as we head throughout the evening. Danielle?
Thanks so much, Paul. Well, emergency shelters have been set up in Baxter Springs, and crews there are out trying to restore power to thousands. We want to go ahead and check in with the Weather Channel's Mike Bettis and the Tornado Hunt team, who is in Baxter Springs.
A lot of cleanup to be done in Baxter Springs, Kansas, taking a direct hit from a tornado. You see the home behind us here, a lot of debris in the back of the yard here, but the roof ripped right off it, now sits in the backyard. Unfortunately, the woman that lives here, Shonda Qualls, and her son were home at the time. They took shelter in his bedroom. They were listening and heard the tornado siren sounded for about 20 seconds or so, and then shortly after that, that's when the tornado hit. You can see windows blown out of cars. A lot of debris is in the yard and in the streets, but you can see just roof missing here. Pretty indicative of a lot of the damage that we've seen. A lot of trees that have been down. Power is out in Baxter Springs, and first responders are now here, as well as emergency crews, and the power companies are here trying to get the power restored. What they're doing now is just kind of taking care of the lines that have been damaged. A lot of the power poles are still up. Just a couple may need to be repaired, but tonight all is quiet. And everyone is safe right now in Baxter Springs. Latest report, no fatalities, maybe a couple of injuries. The worst of the damage is actually off now to the north. This is the beginning of the tornado right here, and then it went right through town, damaged a bowling alley, damaged a roller rink, damaged 20 to 25 businesses, 60 to 65 homes. And Governor Sam Brownback has declared a disaster emergency right now in Kansas because of the tornado damage. That is the very latest here from Baxter Springs, Kansas. I'm meteorologist Mike Bettis. Back to you.
All right, the tornado track team obviously has their hands full, and so do the first responders, who are being charged with the cleanup of situations like this. You're looking at this particular vantage point out of Odessa, Missouri. Several homes, several businesses, lots of property, lots of trees down. Unfortunately, we're getting a lot of assessments of how big the power outages are. We've got thousands of people in the nation's heartland that are without power. Situations like this, the winds so powerful, turning over a semi in Kansas City, Missouri. Think about how big these trucks are. We get passed by these trucks every day on the interstate. Think about one of those going flying down in front of you because of these gusty winds. So if the winds are strong enough to lift something like that, think about what it could do to smaller vehicles. Paul, we just want everyone to keep in mind that the tornadoes, the winds, the heavy rainfall, there's just going to be so much to follow through this overnight time frame.
Right now, we're still getting new pictures coming in from Mayflower, Arkansas. This is obviously tornado damage. Take a look at the trees here, let alone what's left of homes there in the foreground. The background, notice how the trees don't have any leaves, don't have any canopies. Some don't even have any bark. This is an extremely strong and violent tornado that went through that area. And unfortunately, it doesn't look very good in terms of people who were there, in terms of surviving that. And again, you just talked about tractor trailers. They're just being tossed around here in this picture in Mayflower.
In pursuit of all things